In this video we are going to talk how to be a millionaire using bitcoins. So before starting this video, please like this video, subscribe and turn on the notification to our channel for future updates. The electronic currency Bitcoin, which was first introduced in 2009, is exchanged through its own payment network. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency that can be stored in a virtual wallet and is described as a decentralized, peer-to-peer currency that uses cryptography to facilitate currency generation and transactions. To prevent double spending, computers are referred to as miners, and in exchange for running a proof-of-work system, they are paid transaction fees and given free bitcoins. There are two options available to you: you can mine or trade. You can effectively make money for nothing by mining bitcoins as long as the markets remain active. The problem is that mining is now such a difficult job that it is hardly worth it. Converting your computer to a miner will most likely make it loud and hot. It would most likely take a long time to mine a single bitcoin, during which time you would have likely spent more money on electricity. However, if you have access to a lot of computing power and don't have any bills to pay, you could make some quick cash here. That's why the trading option is more appreciated by the experts. How likely is it that you will become a millionaire using Bitcoin? In 10 years, the finite supply of Bitcoin will almost reach 98%. The total supply of Bitcoin is 18.64 million BTC as of the 1st of March, with 2.37 million coins still in circulation. In 10 years, the supply will have increased to 20.6 million coins, accounting for 98% of the total supply of 21 million coins. After deducting the 1.9 million coins that have not been touched in over a decade from the Bitcoin supply limit, the world's millionaires have a maximum limit of 19.2 million BTC. Finally, assuming that the Bitcoin supply is divided equally among the millionaires, this leaves 0.37 BTC per millionaire, including coins that have yet to be mined. However, if every Bitcoin that has been unmoved for 5 years or more is lost, there will be a maximum of 14.57 million BTC available for accumulation. Each of the world's millionaires would only be able to own 0.28 BTC in this scenario, assuming that the supply is distributed evenly. For both Bitcoin and the crypto space in general, the year 2020 was a game-changer. Cryptocurrency's growth potential as a profitable long-term investment is being recognized by an increasing number of financial institutions and major global corporations. Visa, MasterCard, PayPal are welcoming Bitcoin for transactions. The future of Bitcoin is looking bright. It may appear that if you didn't buy Bitcoin before the start of the 2020 rally, you have missed your chance to become a Bitcoin millionaire, but this isn't the case. Generally, nobody knows exactly what Bitcoin's future is going. We didn't even know the paper currency's future. While some believe that this can also be another fad, but others believe that it can also be the beginning of a new age in a new financial landscape because it functions as a currency, voting mechanism, identity, and more. Bitcoins might be the next step in global finance development. Assuming that the global wealth ratio shown in the chart above remains constant, millionaires own 6.32 million BTC of the remaining Bitcoin supply, implying that each person could only buy 0.12 BTC. The remaining 590 million people worth $100,000 or more could effectively hold an additional 5.9 million BTC, resulting in only 0.01 BTC per adult. Of course, over the next 10 years, there's a good chance that more bitcoins will be lost forever. In conclusion, purchasing 0.01 BTC, which at current prices equates to around $500, will put you in the top 13% of the world's cryptocurrency market. When comparing the relative wealth concentration of the fiat and Bitcoin markets, belonging to the top 13% of BTC holders is as exclusive as being a millionaire in fiat currency. Of course, the whole thing is just a simple math exercise. At the same time, it demonstrates how limited Bitcoin's BTC supply is. In 10 years, 98% of all Bitcoins ever created will have been mined. Individuals are currently trying to secure their share of the Bitcoin pie, but companies and even governments are actively vying for their piece of the Bitcoin pie, as evidenced by the rapidly growing global demand. As a result, it's not unreasonable to believe that in 10 years' time, 0.01 BTC will be worth a small fortune. Let's pretend you started mining Bitcoin in the early days, creating money seemingly out of thin air. You may have even purchased some at bargain prices, amassing a total of 1,000 Bitcoin. Do you think you would have sold some in January 2015, when the property was valued at $300,000? What if I told you it was worth $1.1 million 2 years later? You don't think you would have taken some chips off the table if you were given $1 million out of thin air? Okay, that's fine. What if I told you it was worth $20 million a year later? I am confident that unless you were insane, you would have cashed in at some point during your journey. And that moment would have most likely cost $10,000, $50,000, or $100,000. Sure, you were a believer in the blockchain revolution, but not enough to refuse real money from the money tree. Trading Bitcoins on the most well-known exchanges, such as Coinbase, is a more realistic way of making $1 million. You could have purchased Bitcoins for $10 in 2011. Selling them today for $1,000 would have resulted in a profit of $990 per Bitcoin. Essentially, you should have purchased about 1,000 Bitcoins when they were still cheap. This would have cost you around $10,000 in 2011, but you would now be a millionaire. So as a conclusion, our argument is that the clearest way to make millions of dollars with Bitcoin is to consistently stay in the game. Obviously, it's quite risky, but the risk is part of the game if one wants to play big. One has to put money in the system for a long time. And it's sure that the long-term investments are very risky. The human brain was not built to invest a large sum of money in high-risk assets that would be spent decades later. At the moment, we are reacting to fear and greed. When our forefathers saw something that resembled a lion, they bolted. It didn't matter if they were mistaken, they were still alive to see another day. When it comes to investing, our natural desire to act works against us. When our fear sensors are triggered, such as when stocks drop 30%, 40%, or even 50% in a bear market, as they do on a regular basis, we feel compelled to react immediately. There's another mental game we play on ourselves. What could have been being something we regret? We sell a stock for a large profit, only to regret it later when it rises in value. Many early Bitcoin investors, I'm sure, feel the same way about cashing out. Regret has the same effect on the way down as it does on the way up. Bitcoin dropped below $3,000 after reaching a high of $20,000 in late 2017. Those who saw their fortunes rise above $1 million only to crash a few months later, I'm sure, felt a great deal of regret. It won't be easy, but the only way to get rid of this mind trick is to ignore it and move on. It's pointless to second-guess a decision that has already been made. It's still possible to make $1 million with Bitcoins today, but you'll need some money. Every day, the value of Bitcoins can fluctuate by tens of percent. On May 22, 2017, the price jumped up 10%. Day trading Bitcoins is risky, but there's always an opportunity where there's volatility. Otherwise, you'll have to decide whether or not you think Bitcoin will be successful over the long term. If you believe that foreign exchange dealers, market makers, and institutions will trade Bitcoin at some point in the future, you should consider going long. Buying right now would be extremely risky. The price chart screams bubble, but the timing of your entry is entirely up to you. However, don't expect to see more of the same rapid growth in the near future. If, on the other hand, you have a strong belief in Bitcoin's demise, you should short the cryptocurrency in any way you can. Even though this would be a highly risky venture if the Bitcoin market is doomed to fail, why not profit when the bubble bursts? You'll either have to get creative or join an exchange that allows you to short Bitcoin. So that's it for today's video. What do you think of our list? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoy this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notification before you go. Thanks for watching.